Jamal Murray is insane. 55 points. That's not just a career high, it's also the most points ever scored in a single game by a Canadian in NBA history. That's legendary stuff. The guy was locked in from the moment he stepped on the floor, and the efficiency was off the charts. 20 makes on 36 attempts, 7 triples on 15 tries, and nearly perfect from the free throw line, sinking 8 of his 9 attempts. That is just an unreal scoring performance. But it wasn't just the scoring. He was dropping dimes too. 5 assists to go along with all those buckets, making sure the offense kept flowing. He even grabbed 4 rebounds, just for good measure. He wasn't just getting his own looks. He was making sure the entire team kept rolling. And let's not forget, he wasn't even 100% coming into this game. He was questionable to play, and then he comes out and delivers this masterpiece. That is what stars do. And this isn't some one-off explosion either. He's been balling for a while now. Over his last 30 games, he's putting up nearly 23 points a night on absurd efficiency. Nearly 50% from the field, almost 40% from 3, and over 90% from the free throw line. That's as efficient as it gets. He's also averaging over 6 assists a game, nearly 4 rebounds, and doing all of it while keeping his turnovers low. That's superstar level production over an extended stretch. And then there's the history. This was his 4th 50-point game, which is officially more than every other player in Nuggets history combined. Not just in the regular season, but including the playoffs too. Listen to this list of players he's got more 50-point games than Nikola Jokic, more than SGA, more than Tim Duncan, more than Magic Johnson, more than Hakeem, more than Shaq, more than Jimmy Butler, more than DeRozan, more than Morant, more than Jaylen Brown. That list is stacked with Hall of Famers and elite scorers, and Jamal Murray just passed all of them. That's how special this night was. And it's not like this is the first time he's gone nuclear. In his last 16 games alone, he's scored at least 30 points 6 different times. He's been a walking bucket, and tonight was the peak of all that momentum. 55 points, and he made it look effortless. Step backs, spot ups, pull ups, it didn't matter. Every shot just seemed to drop. And let's talk about how this performance sets the tone for the Nuggets moving forward. They head into the All-Star break on an 8-game winning streak. 8 straight, and Murray just gave them one of the best individual performances in franchise history to close it out. That's how you build momentum for the second half of the season. And to make it even crazier, this was one of the highest scoring games by any player this season. Only 3 guys have put up more points in a single game. Fox had 60, Giannis had 59, Nikola Jokic had 56, and now tied for the 4th highest scoring game of the season, Jamal Murray and Jalen Brunson with 55. That is elite company. This was a historic night in every possible way. Career high, Nuggets history, Canadian history, and he did it while playing through an injury. That is what stars do. He just delivered one of the most dominant scoring performances of the entire season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. The Nuggets are rolling, Murray is on fire, and this team is looking scary heading into the second half of the season. But I think a lot of people might not realize, when Murray is playing like himself, the Nuggets are virtually unstoppable. Let's start with how the Nuggets score. Murray's true shooting percentage sits at 56.4%, meaning he's scoring at an elite rate relative to his shot attempts. He's generating 1.1 points per field goal attempt, and when you pair that with Nikola Jokic's absurd efficiency, this duo becomes impossible to contain. Jokic is averaging nearly 30 points per game while shooting better than 99% of the league. His effective field goal percentage is 63.1%, and his true shooting percentage is a ridiculous 66.6%. That means every time he shoots, it's almost a guaranteed bucket. When Murray is clicking, defenses can't afford to load up on Jokic, and that's when things get out of control. Murray's ability to create offense stretches the floor, opening up the game for Michael Porter Jr. Porter's putting up 19 points per game while ranking in the top 89% of the league in efficiency. His effective field goal percentage sits at 62.1%, and his true shooting percentage is an incredible 64%. That means he's getting 1.3 points per scoring attempt, which is right in line with Jokic's efficiency. When Murray is at his best, that gives Porter even more opportunities to fire away, and that's exactly what makes this offense so deadly. Aaron Gordon benefits in a huge way when Murray is in rhythm. Gordon is putting up over 12 points per game on elite efficiency, ranking in the top 75% of the league in scoring. His effective field goal percentage is 56.9%, and his true shooting percentage is 61.6%. He's getting 1.2 points per scoring attempt, which means he's capitalizing on high-quality looks. When Murray is drawing attention, Gordon gets easier shots inside, and that's where he thrives. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Denver. And then there's Christian Braun, who's quietly been one of the most efficient scorers on the roster. He's averaging nearly 15 points per game, while ranking in the top 90% of the league in efficiency. His effective field goal percentage is 62.6%, and his true shooting percentage is 65.9%. That's elite production for his role. He's getting 1.3 points per scoring attempt, and when Murray is cooking, Braun gets even better looks at the rim. And from deep, it all comes back to Murray. His scoring keeps defenses on edge, forcing them to adjust. And that creates even better opportunities for everyone else. When he's aggressive, Jokic gets more space to operate. Porter Jr. finds more open shots. Gordon gets easier looks inside, and Braun feasts off the extra attention given to the stars. The advanced stats tell the whole story. The Nuggets are elite when Murray is playing well and when he's at his absolute best. They become unguardable. Jokic is already one of the most efficient scorers in the game, but when he has Murray firing on all cylinders next to him, his scoring becomes even deadlier. Jokic is averaging nearly 30 points per game, and he's scoring 1.3 points per shot attempt. That level of efficiency is almost unheard of for a high-volume scorer. And when Murray is attracting attention, it allows Jokic to get even better looks. Defenders can't send double teams to Jokic when Murray is knocking down shots, and that makes this offense impossible to slow down. Murray's impact also makes life easier for Porter Jr., whose scoring efficiency is just as lethal. Porter Jr. is getting 1.3 points per scoring attempt, which is right in line with Jokic. His shooting ability spaces the floor, and when Murray is playing well, defenses have to make impossible decisions. Close out on Murray, and he finds Porter Jr. for an open three. Collapse on Jokic, and suddenly, Murray is wide open. There's no answer when both of them are playing at a high level. And let's not forget about Aaron Gordon, who thrives on the easy buckets created by Murray and Jokic. He's averaging over 12 points per game, and his true shooting percentage is one of the best on the team. He's getting 1.2 points per scoring attempt, meaning he's converting his chances at an elite rate. When Murray is playing well, Gordon's efficiency only gets better as he gets more chances in transition, more cuts to the basket, and more open looks. Braun's efficiency is another key piece of this puzzle. He's one of the most efficient scorers in the entire league, and he benefits tremendously when Murray is rolling. He's getting 1.3 points per scoring attempt, just like Jokic and Porter Jr. And when the ball movement is flowing, he becomes even more dangerous. Murray's ability to create offense trickles down to every player on the roster, and Braun is one of the biggest beneficiaries. When Murray is at his best, the Nuggets offense becomes one of the most efficient units in the league. They already have Jokic, who ranks in the top 99% of players in efficiency. But when Murray is playing at a high level, it forces defenses to spread out, and that allows every other scorer to maximize their opportunities. Porter Jr. gets cleaner looks, Gordon gets easier buckets, Braun gets more high percentage shots. It all comes down to Murray's ability to elevate everyone around him. This team is built to dominate. When Murray is locked in, his scoring output puts him in the top 51% of the league, but his efficiency is what really makes the difference. His true shooting percentage of 56.4% ensures that every shot he takes is high value, and that's what separates him from other scorers. Pair that with Jokic's ridiculous 66.6 true shooting percentage, and you've got one of the most unstoppable duos in basketball. And when you look at the numbers, it's clear that Murray's presence elevates the entire team. Jokic, Porter Jr., Gordon, and Braun are all at their best when Murray is rolling, and the advanced stats prove it. Their points per shot attempt are all among the best in the league, and that only happens when the offense is being run at an elite level. But then we can do the same with their teamwork numbers. When Jamal Murray is on the floor, the Nuggets are a completely different team. The numbers show just how much of an impact he has, not just with his scoring, but with how much better the entire team plays when he's out there. His mixed teamwork rating is higher than 96% of the league, meaning very few players create as much positive impact for their team as he does. His offensive rating is an elite 123.8, meaning the Nuggets score at an extremely high level when he's in the game. And defensively, while his rating sits at 117.1, his overall net rating of plus 6.7 shows just how much better they are when he plays. The most telling stat, his on-off impact. The Nuggets outscore opponents by 5.7 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor compared to when he's off. That is a huge swing. More than half of the games he plays in end with him having a positive plus-minus, meaning the team is consistently better when he's out there. And when he's rolling, the rest of the team becomes even more dominant. Nikola Jokic is already one of the most impactful players in the league, ranking in the top 99% in mixed teamwork rating. His offensive rating is even higher at 127.4. and his net rating is a ridiculous plus 12.5. But here's where it gets scary. Jokic's on-off impact is an absurd plus 12.7, meaning the Nuggets are over 12 points better per 100 possessions when he's in the game. When Murray is clicking, that impact only gets bigger because defenses can't just key in on Jokic. And then there's Aaron Gordon, who thrives alongside Murray. Gordon has a mixed teamwork rating higher than 96% of the league, and his offensive rating is a ridiculous 124.6. His net rating is an elite plus 12.2, meaning he's one of the biggest difference makers on the team. But just like Jokic, his impact is amplified when Murray is rolling. His on-off impact is plus 6.7. And more than 71% of the games he plays in, he finishes with a positive plus minus. That shows just how valuable he is when the team is firing on all cylinders. Michael Porter Jr. is another huge beneficiary of Murray's play. His mixed teamwork rating is in the top 99% of the league, and his offensive rating sits at 123. His net rating is plus 8.4, and the Nuggets outscore opponents by 7 points per 100 possessions when he's in the game. More than 71% of his games end with a positive plus minus, which shows how consistently he impacts winning. When Murray is on, Porter Jr. gets cleaner looks, more open threes, and easier scoring chances, and that just takes this offense to another level. Christian Braun might not get the same attention as the stars, but his numbers are just as impressive. His mixed teamwork rating is in the top 98% of the league, and his offensive rating is an elite 124.2. His net rating sits at plus 9.3, and his on-off impact is plus 6.5. That means the Nuggets are significantly better when he's playing. And when Murray is at his best, Braun gets even more high-quality shots in transition and off-ball movement. But everything comes back to Murray. His ability to score, create, and space the floor makes every single one of his teammates better. The offensive numbers skyrocket when he's playing well, and that directly leads to winning basketball. His net rating of plus 6.7 proves that the Nuggets are consistently in a better position to win when he's in the lineup. He creates more space for Jokic to operate, gives Porter Jr. more room to fire away, sets up Gordon for high percentage looks, and makes Braun even more effective. And it's not just about scoring. His presence alone shifts how defenses play against the Nuggets. His offensive rating of 123.8 is proof that the team's efficiency reaches elite levels when he's on the floor. Defenders can't sag off him, they can't overhelp on Jokic, and they can't collapse on Gordon's drives. The spacing he provides makes everything easier, and that's why the Nuggets thrive when he's in the game. Jokic might be the engine of this team, but Murray is the piece that takes them from great to unstoppable. When both are playing at a high level, defenses are completely helpless. Jokic's net rating of plus 12.5 already makes him one of the most impactful players in the league. But when Murray is on, that number looks even better. And the same goes for Porter Jr. His offensive rating of 123 and net rating of plus 8.4 already make him one of the most efficient scorers in the league. But when Murray is at his best, Porter Jr. gets even more open shots, and that only makes him more lethal. Aaron Gordon benefits just as much. His offensive rating of 124.6 is one of the highest on the team, and his net rating of plus 12.2 is elite. When Murray is aggressive, Gordon gets even more easy finishes, and that is what makes the Nuggets impossible to guard. Christian Braun rounds out the lineup with his efficiency. His offensive rating of 124.2 and net rating of plus 9.3 show that he's quietly one of the most effective players on the roster. When Murray is playing at a high level, Braun gets even more high percentage shots, and that makes the Nuggets even deeper. But where the Nuggets really dominate when Murray is playing like this is with their passing. When Jamal Murray is locked in as a playmaker, the Nuggets become a nightmare for opposing defenses. His ability to create for teammates, keep the offense flowing, and limit mistakes makes him one of the most valuable players on the floor. He ranks higher than 96% of players in ball handling ability, and that's not just about dribbling, it's about his overall control of the game. He's averaging 6.1 assists per game while only turning the ball over 2.2 times. That puts him ahead of more than 82% of players in assist to turnover efficiency. His assist percentage sits at 22.33%, meaning nearly a quarter of all made shots when he's on the floor come from his passing. That is elite playmaking, and when he's distributing like this, the Nuggets offense reaches a whole new level. Murray's passing doesn't just add assists to his stat line, it completely changes how the Nuggets operate. He generates 14.5 points per game just off assists, and those points are often some of the most efficient buckets the team gets. The biggest difference? It takes pressure off Nikola Jokic. Jokic is already the most complete offensive player in the league, ranking in the top 99% in ball handling. But when Murray is playmaking at a high level, it allows Jokic to be even more selective with his touches. Jokic leads the team with 10.3 assists per game and an absurd 40.83% assist rate. That means nearly half of all Nuggets made shots while he's on the floor are coming from his passing. But when Murray is aggressive as a facilitator, Jokic doesn't have to initiate everything, and that makes the offense even deadlier. The efficiency of both players is what makes this work so well. Despite both handling the ball a ton, their turnover percentages are incredibly low. Murray's turnover percentage is just 8.18%, while Jokic's sits at 8.68%. That means they're not only creating offense at a high level, but they're doing it without wasting possessions. The ball is constantly moving and the offense doesn't stall. That's why the Nuggets dominate when Murray is running the show. And it's not just about Jokic. Murray's playmaking makes life easier for every single player on the floor. And that's what makes this offense so hard to stop. Aaron Gordon thrives when Murray is playing well. Gordon doesn't need to create his own shot. He's an elite cutter and finisher, and that's exactly why he benefits from Murray's passing. When Murray is breaking down defenses, Gordon gets more easy buckets, and his finishing numbers go through the roof. Michael Porter Jr. is another player who takes full advantage of Murray's playmaking. Porter Jr. is one of the best pure shooters in the game, but he's not a natural playmaker himself. That's why Murray is so valuable. When he's setting up Porter Jr., the offense becomes even more efficient. Jokic already assists on 24.4 points per game, but when Murray is locked in, that number climbs even higher because it forces defenses to shift their focus. That means Porter Jr. gets even cleaner looks, and when he's knocking down shots, the Nuggets become unguardable. And then there's Christian Braun, who plays perfectly in this system. He's an efficient scorer, but what makes him so dangerous is his ability to capitalize on the space created by Murray and Jokic. When Murray is setting up the offense, Braun gets more high percentage looks off cuts and kickouts. That's why this offense is so elite when everyone is in sync. Murray's passing doesn't just create assists, it controls the entire tempo of the game. The Nuggets offense is built on ball movement, and when Murray is facilitating at a high level, they become one of the hardest teams to defend. And when you compare his passing impact to other high-level guards, it's clear just how valuable he is. Take Russell Westbrook, for example. Westbrook is known for his playmaking, ranking in the top 95% in ball handling, but his assist percentage is actually lower than Murray's at 29.58%. And even though he's averaging slightly more assists per game at 6.4, his turnover percentage is way higher at 14.36%. That means he's turning the ball over almost twice as much as Murray. That's the difference between chaotic playmaking and efficient playmaking. Murray keeps the ball moving, makes the right reads, and limits mistakes. That's why this offense is so dominant when he's in control. And here's where it all comes together. Murray is an elite scorer, but his passing impact is what truly elevates this team. Defenses have to respect his scoring, which forces them to play him honestly, and that's what opens up the floor for everyone else. He's assisting on more than 22% of all Nuggets made shots, while only turning the ball over 2.2 times per game. That level of efficiency is exactly why this team is so dangerous when he's facilitating at a high level. Jokic's 10.3 assists per game lead the team, but when Murray is running the offense, it allows Jokic to focus even more on scoring. That's why Jokic's offensive rating is a ridiculous 127.4. He doesn't have to initiate every possession, which means he can pick his spots and dominate even more efficiently. When Murray is distributing, Jokic can play off the ball, work in the post, or even spot up for threes. That makes him even harder to guard, and the impact trickles down to every player. Gordon's offensive rating jumps when Murray is playmaking. Porter Jr. gets even more open shots. Braun finds more lanes to cut into. It's all connected, and it starts with Murray's ability to read the game and make the right passes. The best part, Murray doesn't just rack up assists, he does it without making mistakes. His turnover percentage is one of the lowest among high-usage guards, sitting at just 8.18%. That's elite decision-making. He's creating shots, keeping the ball moving, and not forcing anything. That's why the Nuggets' offensive efficiency is so high when he's playing at his best. But when it gets crazy, when you look at the usage. Jamal Murray's impact on the Nuggets is undeniable, and when he's playing at his best, this team becomes unstoppable. His usage rate sits at 23.9%, meaning nearly a quarter of all plays while he's on the floor end with him taking a shot, getting to the free throw line, assisting on a bucket, or turning the ball over. That level of involvement shows just how critical he is to the Nuggets' offensive system. When Murray is engaged, the entire team plays better, and the numbers prove it. Murray takes 16.3 shots per game, gets to the line 3.5 times, dishes out 6.1 assists, and turns the ball over only 2.2 times. That's an elite balance of scoring, playmaking, and efficiency. But his real impact is how he fits alongside Nikola Jokic. Jokic carries the highest usage rate on the team at 29.5%, meaning he's involved in nearly a third of all offensive plays when he's on the floor. He's taking 19.6 shots per game, getting to the line 6.2 times, and averaging a ridiculous 10.3 assists while only turning the ball over 3.1 times. The key here is that when Murray is aggressive and controlling the offense, Jokic doesn't have to initiate everything himself. And that makes the Nuggets' offense nearly impossible to slow down. The balance between Murray and Jokic is what makes this team so dominant. Murray's 23.9 usage rate is the perfect middle ground, high enough to be a primary offensive weapon, but low enough to keep the offense flowing smoothly. When he's in rhythm, defenses have to respect his ability to score and pass, which means they can't load up on Jokic. That's when this team becomes unguardable. And when Murray is clicking, his teammates thrive. Aaron Gordon plays a completely different role, logging a usage rate of 17.4%. That means he isn't being asked to create for himself very often, but that's exactly why he works so well next to Murray. Gordon is taking just 8.4 shots per game, getting to the line 3.2 times, and keeping his game simple, finishing plays and taking high percentage looks. When Murray is playing well, Gordon's offensive efficiency skyrockets because he's getting more clean looks inside, more transition opportunities, and more dunks off Murray's playmaking. Michael Porter Jr. is another player who benefits tremendously from Murray's presence. His usage rate is 20.5%, ranking in the top 67% of the league. He's taking 13.7 shots per game, getting to the line 2.6 times, and dishing out 2.2 assists. That means he's a secondary scorer behind Jokic and Murray. But when Murray is aggressive, it opens up the game for him. The numbers show that Porter Jr. doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective. When Murray is forcing defenses to collapse, Porter Jr. gets even better looks. And that's why his efficiency remains so high. Christian Braun plays a more limited offensive role, with a usage rate of 15.9%, putting him in the top 39% of players. He's taking just 10.1 shots per game, getting to the line 2.7 times, and making the most of his opportunities. But when Murray is on fire, Braun finds even more chances to get involved. His ability to cut, finish in transition, and knock down open looks makes him the perfect complementary piece in this system. And when you compare Murray's play to other guards, it's obvious why the Nuggets offense is so much more efficient when he's locked in. Russell Westbrook, for example, has a usage rate of 22.3%. Westbrook takes fewer shots per game at 10.3, but turns the ball over 3 times per game. That's a huge difference. Murray controls the game with far more efficiency, and that's why the Nuggets offense stays so lethal when he's in rhythm. The biggest difference between Murray and other high-usage guards is his decision-making. His 23.9 usage rate allows him to have a massive impact without disrupting the team's flow. He's not over-dribbling, forcing bad shots, or turning the ball over at a high rate. Instead, he's making the right reads, getting to his spots, and keeping the offense running smoothly. And let's talk about possessions. Murray is involved in 74.3 possessions per game, just slightly behind Jokic's 76.1. That means he's dictating the flow of the game nearly as much as the 2-time MVP. He knows when to score, when to pass, and when to let Jokic take over. That balance is what makes this team so tough to defend. Gordon plays a different role, logging 55.9 possessions per game, which is much lower than Murray and Jokic. That's because his job is to finish plays, not initiate them. When Murray is playing well, Gordon's role becomes even easier. He just has to focus on cutting, crashing the glass, and finishing at the rim. The numbers show that when Murray is aggressive, Gordon's offensive efficiency skyrockets. Porter Jr. plays 70 possessions per game, putting him right behind Murray and Jokic. That shows how involved he is in the offense. But what makes him so dangerous is that he doesn't need the ball in his hands for long to be effective. When Murray is cooking, Porter Jr. gets even better shot opportunities, and that's exactly why the Nuggets offense is so deadly when both are rolling. Braun logs 68.2 possessions per game, meaning he's playing a key role but not shouldering too much responsibility. That's exactly why his efficiency is so high. He's getting high percentage looks thanks to Murray's ability to control the pace. And when you break it all down, the numbers tell the full story. When Murray is locked in, the Nuggets offense becomes impossible to stop. His usage rate is high enough to make a massive impact, but balanced enough to allow Jokic, Porter Jr., Gordon, and Brown to thrive in their roles. That's what makes this team so unique. They don't rely on one guy to carry the entire offense. They play off each other, and Murray is the key piece that keeps everything flowing. Jokic may have the highest usage rate on the team, but Murray's ability to handle nearly a quarter of the offense while maintaining elite efficiency is what makes this system work. His usage rate of 23.9% is the perfect balance. He's involved in a ton of plays without dominating the ball too much. That's why the Nuggets offense ranks among the best in the league when he's in rhythm, and the impact is undeniable. When Murray is engaged, the Nuggets offense doesn't just function, it dominates. His ability to create, score, and facilitate without turning the ball over keeps the offense efficient. And that's why the team plays at such a high level when he's at his best. The advanced stats prove it. Murray's usage rate allows the entire team to thrive, creating balance, efficiency, and elite offensive production. When he's on his game, the Nuggets aren't just a great team, they're an unstoppable force. Overall though, when Jamal Murray is playing at his best, the Denver Nuggets are a different beast. The numbers make it crystal clear. This team isn't just good when he's on, they're dominant. Murray's ability to create his own shot, facilitate for teammates, and control the tempo makes the Nuggets an offensive juggernaut. He's one of the top point guards in the NBA, and when he's locked in, his impact is undeniable. Denver already has the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic, but what takes them from a championship contender to an unstoppable force is Murray playing at an elite level. When he's clicking, everything else falls into place, and the entire team becomes nearly impossible to guard. Jokic is the engine of this team, but Murray is the ignition. Jokic might be the most unguardable player in the league, but even he benefits when Murray is rolling. The two-man game between them is one of the most devastating offensive weapons in the NBA. When Murray is aggressive, defenses can't load up on Jokic, which allows the offense to flow at an even higher level. Jokic is already the most efficient superstar in the league, but when he doesn't have to carry the entire offensive load himself, he becomes even more dangerous. That's why Murray is so important. He takes pressure off Jokic, allowing him to conserve energy and dominate when it matters most. And it's not just about the two-man game. When Murray is locked in, the entire roster benefits. Denver has one of the best supporting casts in the league, and every single role player gets easier opportunities when Murray is running the show. Aaron Gordon thrives as a cutter and finisher, and when Murray is controlling the offense, Gordon gets even more easy buckets at the rim. His efficiency skyrockets because he's not being forced to create his own shot. He's simply finishing the plays that Murray and Jokic generate. Michael Porter Jr. is one of the best pure shooters in the league, and when Murray is aggressive, Porter Jr. gets wide open looks from deep. That's why his efficiency remains so high. He doesn't have to force bad shots because Murray is constantly setting him up in perfect spots. Christian Braun's impact is another key factor. He's one of the most efficient young players in the league, and when Murray is playing well, Braun gets even more high-quality looks in transition and off-ball movement. He's not a high-usage player, but he doesn't have to be. Murray's ability to create offense allows Braun to play within his role, which keeps the entire team running smoothly. And then there's Russell Westbrook, a veteran presence who can bring a spark off the bench. When Murray is in control, Westbrook doesn't have to take on too much responsibility. He can play his role without feeling like he has to force things. That's why the Nuggets are so dangerous when Murray is playing at an elite level. Everyone on the roster benefits from his ability to command the offense. And it's happening at the perfect time. Denver is heating up when it matters most, and with the playoffs approaching, they're looking like one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Jokic is playing at an MVP level, Porter Jr. is thriving in his role, Gordon is dominating as a finisher, Braun is bringing elite efficiency, and Westbrook is providing a spark off the bench. But the biggest key to it all, Murray. When he's locked in, Denver looks like a team that nobody wants to face. The advanced stats tell the entire story. When Murray is engaged, Denver's offensive rating jumps to elite levels. Their efficiency skyrockets. Their ball movement becomes unstoppable, and their ability to create high percentage looks reaches another level. The Nuggets don't just play better when Murray is on. They become nearly unbeatable. The combination of his scoring, playmaking, and ability to limit mistakes makes this offense flow in a way that few teams can handle. And that's what makes Denver so scary heading into the postseason. They have the best player in the league in Jokic. They have elite role players who thrive in their roles. And when Murray is at his best, they're nearly impossible to slow down. He's the piece that takes them from great to unstoppable. When he's aggressive, efficient, and in control, the Nuggets offense is a well-oiled machine. The timing couldn't be better. As the regular season winds down, Denver is picking up steam at exactly the right time. Their chemistry is clicking, their stars are peaking, and their depth is proving to be one of the best in the league. And at the center of it all is Murray, the guy who makes this team truly elite when he's at his best. Denver is built for a deep playoff run, and if Murray keeps playing at this level, they're going to be a nightmare for any team in the league. The advanced stats prove it, the eye test confirms it, and the results speak for themselves. When Murray is rolling, Denver doesn't just win, they dominate. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during the season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.